honey bunnies, welcome back. It's me, Jenny. Okay, honeys, I have a fabulous tutorial for you guys today. I'm going to show you how to make these lovely handmade decorative stockings. Okay, so these are decorative stockings, and the reason why I say that is because you don't really necessarily can put stuff in here. You could adjust it and you could modify a little bit the tutorial and you could use it for that. For my purposes, I'm just using it as decorative stockings. I'm hanging them on the wall. I'm going to hang some garland around them. It's going to look super beautiful, super pretty. And I'm probably going to be, the only thing that I'm going to put in my stockings are going to be very sparkly envelopes, kind of like poking out. I'll do a pic on the finished look, and I will post it in my Instagram account, so make sure you follow me there. Okay, so I'm not going to talk too much in this video because this tutorial is probably going to be super long. I am trying my best to do this tutorial in half an hour. If that does not happen, then we'll probably have like a second part to this video, because I want to show you guys step by step on how to create your own handmade, custom, lovely, beautiful, decorative stockings. Okay, so as you can see, I just finished doing my stockings. I have two that I did here off camera and I'm going to do one more with you guys because I want to hang 3 on my wall. So let's talk about the what we're using for this stocking. Okay, now 1 second. You guys know that I always like to make things simple and I like to make things easy. Okay, I don't want you guys to get discouraged if you see some things that I'm going to show you that you don't have at home. It's always ways of working around that. Okay, and I'm going to tell you little tricks that I follow when I'm doing these projects and how it works for me. Okay, so you're gonna need some fabric. Go to Walmart. Walmart has beautiful, inexpensive fabric. My trick to buying fabric is I love going thrift shopping, and I'm always looking for fabric that catches my eye. Not necessarily liking the sweater or liking the shirt or the skirt, but just like really loving the fabric. And that's how I really buy my fabric. I very rarely go to Walmart and buy fabric because I like unique fabrics, but you can very simply do that if you want. Okay, once you get your fabric jacked down, I'm going to use this fabric to do my stockings because I'm trying to use neutral colors. Okay, now you're going to get yourself some boxes from the post office, very inexpensive. Okay, get your boxes from the post office. You're going to cut out your boxes into squares, and you're going to use a template that is a stocking, Christmas stocking. This is my template. I use this as my template to create my Christmas stocking little template. If you don't have a stocking, you can always download the image online. There's gazillions of places where you can download an image and you can use that as your sample. Okay, now once we have that down packed, you're going to make a sample of your stockings. You're going to trace it onto your paper or your cardboard from the post office. You're going to trim it out to the size, and then you're going to cover your stocking, okay, with some kind of felt material. You guys know how I feel about felt material. I love it because felt is one of those materials that adheres to anything and is very, very sturdy. Okay, once you do that, we're going to get our fabric. Okay, and I'm going to do this is where I'm starting to do my tutorial now with you guys. I know I talked a lot in the intro, but I need to talk to you and I need to explain this to you in detail, because if I don't do it, it could be a little bit confusing. This is a very simple project, but it can be confusing if you don't kind of go step by step with it, okay? So once you get your fabric, you're going to lay down your fabric, okay? And you're going to trace your fabric, and you're going to make the shape of your stockings, okay? You can pin this down if you want. You can lay something down so it doesn't go anywhere. You don't have to be perfect with this project, because we are going to cover the, see how here I have this one? The edges of my stocking is going to be covered with lace. So you don't have to be perfect when it comes to cutting out your stockings. So this is why it's such an easy project, because you don't need any measurements. You don't need to do any kind of sewing. You guys know I hate sewing. And everything you're basically doing with your either hot glue, your scissors, and that's it, okay? So trace out your stockings, and I'm gonna do that with you guys right now. Again, it does not have to be perfect, okay? Obviously, you want it to be as close as possible to your template, but again, it does not have to be 100% perfect, okay? Just keep that in mind, because once you figure this out, you're going to be making gazillions of these adorable stockings. Guarantee you, okay? All right, so now I have this side already done. I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to cut this end right here. Okay. And just go around until you get that shape of a stocking. Now remember, we're going to go back later and we're going to trim out and give it more of a style. So don't go crazy if this looks all crazy and all wacky, okay? Right now, you just want to go as close as you can to the shape of your stocking. That's all you're going to do, okay? Once you do that, okay, here's my shape of my stocking. You see that? All right. Once you do that, guys, you're going to hot glue your stocking onto your felt, okay? This is where I tell you guys, you can kind of change it up a little bit. If you want to use these stockings as stocking stuffers, then you obviously want to keep an open space here, and you obviously want to be very careful in how you adhere your fabric. You want to keep it really close to the edge, and you can always adjust it to however you want your stockings to be. Again, I'm not using my stockings as stuffers. I'm just using it for decoration purposes, okay? Lay down what we just finished cutting, okay? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to go around the edges of the stocking. That's all I'm doing, okay? By the way, you're going to be using a lot of hot glue for this project, so be prepared to use a lot of hot glue. Stay on the edges, okay, as close as you can. And just go around. Very simple. Go around. Now, you don't want to go too close to the edge because we're going to be trimming this down, okay? So keep that in mind. You don't want to go too close to the edge, because once we start trimming this down, then you're going to cut off the hot glue, you know, the hot glue section, and you don't want to do that, okay? So again, all the way around. I need more hot glue. I've gone through literally about 18 little hot glue sticks today. I'm not even joking you. 18. Okay. then you're going to go all the way around. Okay. And that's all you're going to do so far. Okay. So there you have your stockings almost already complete. Okay. Now, this is where I say to you guys, if you want to keep this open to put more stuff in here, you could do that if you want. But you're going to have to make sure, and you're going to have to adjust your project. You might have to use heavier fabric. You might have to use just other things, okay? So just make sure you think about what you're doing before you start gluing things down, okay? Once you do that, okay, and all the edges are all complete, you're going to turn around your project, okay? If you want to cover the side, you could do that if you want. It kind of looks ugly, so you might want to cover the back side of your stockings. I personally don't even care because it's going to be on my wall. Nobody's going to see it. So to me, it's fine. I don't mind. But if you are a little bit anal about how it looks, then just cover it with white felt or white fabric or paint it however you want. Now we're going to go around, okay, and you're going to just cut out very neatly, okay, all these extra fabric that you have here. Okay, and always leaving a little bit. You don't want to cut too close to the template. Okay, you're always going to leave yourself a little bit of space to play around with in case you need to go back later and recut again. You don't want to like give yourself, you know, no space at all to do anything. Okay, so you're going to go around, and now you're going to just trim as you go. Okay, and just look at it and see how you feel about it. I think mine looks fine the way it is. I don't think I need to be trimming anything else, so I'm leaving it the way it is, like that. Okay, all right, so this is already basically almost done. For the top of your stockings, take another piece of that fabric that you have. Okay, hold on 1 second. Take another piece of that fabric that you have. Take the size that you want, and you're going to hot glue that onto the top of your stockings. Okay, it's gonna kind of give it like a little fold, kind of. Okay, so you're gonna do that next. Okay, and you want to make sure that you have a nice you know, decent rectangle. You don't want your rectangle to look all crazy. Just a very nice decent size of a rectangle. You want everything to look the same. You want the length, the height, everything to be the same. Okay, so just eyeball it and just make sure you make your nice square or your nice rectangle. And you could make it as thick or as thin as you want. That's really your preference. Okay, that's roughly about a good size. Okay, so I'm going to hot glue this on to the top of my stockings. Okay, I think it's gonna be impossible for me to make this video half an hour. It's just too much stuff that I have to talk to you guys about, and I have to tell you in detail. So I really don't think it's gonna happen, but we'll see. We'll try, okay? Trust me, I don't want this video to be longer than it needs to be, but sometimes it has to, in order for me to explain everything to you guys correctly. It might just need to be a little bit longer. Okay, so you're hot gluing down your fold for your stocking. Okay, make sure everything is neatly lined up and everything looks neat. Okay, all right, boom, that's done. Let's cut off the extra. There you have it. See that? And there's already our stocking is kind of taking its shape right now. Okay, so that's basically all you do for the template of your stockings. Now this is the fun part when you start decorating your stockings. Guys, don't go crazy finding stuff to decorate. Take out your laces, take out an old dress that you don't like, take out an old curtains that you don't like. Use the fabric. Use fabric as your part of your decoration for your stockings. Fabric is fantastic. Lace is fantastic. A lot of appliques are fantastic. I gotta tell you the truth. Again, I love thrift shopping. I found this dress while I was thrift shopping a long ass time ago. I'm talking about like years ago. And I kept the dress. I love it. This is gorgeous. And you can do a lot with this, okay? This would cost you like $20 a yard if you go to the store and buy it. Sometimes you have to find ways to save money, and that's, for me, a way to save money. I don't have $20 to spend on a yard of fabric. It's expensive. You have to think, and you have to think outside the box. Okay, same thing with this. I went thrift shopping about a year and a half ago. I found this gorgeous wedding dress, and that day that I went, it was 50% off everything. The dress cost me $15. I tore this dress apart. I kept the best parts of it. This is part of a sleeve of this wedding dress, but look how gorgeous this detail is. Look how gorgeous this application is. It's absolutely fantastic and beautiful. If I want to use this for something, I can just cut off the application and I can glue this down to whatever project I'm working with. So again, you go to the store and you want to buy something like this, it's going to cost you a fortune. So you have to always think outside the box, okay? Same thing with sweaters. I have this sweater that I bought while I was thrift shopping a while ago. I torn up the sweater. I took the best parts that I loved. The best part that I loved of the sweater was these beautiful gold and pearl buttons. So what I did, I took those buttons and now I kind of like just tore them apart. I have these buttons over here in the little corner so I can decorate my stockings with, and I still have tons more that I can work for a future project. So these are just little tips that I want to give you that allows you to save money and allows you to have your projects in a very unique way. Like, who would ever think of something like this? I mean, that's what I like the most about this project, that you do basically build your own project in your own style, not in somebody else's style, right? Okay, so I have a collection of applications because obviously you guys know me. I love to collect shit. Basically, let's just say the truth. I love to collect a lot of stuff. I should have not said that word because I have children watching this. I'm sorry. I apologize. I collect a lot of stuff, and so I have really a lot of these beautiful applications that I just love. Now, again, I tell you, these applications, I get them from the thrift shop. I find these beautiful old sweaters with these applications. I buy the sweater, I take out the application, I put it away, and I use it for future projects like the one I'm using today. So you have to really just, basically what I'm saying to you guys is basically think outside the box, okay? That's all I'm trying to say, is basically think outside the box, all right? So let's decorate this beautiful stocking. I'm going to use this application because it kind of goes a little bit with the ones that I just finished creating, as you can see here. So I want them to look a little bit different from each other, but not too much. I want also them to kind of resemble the same family, but a little bit different. So I'm definitely going to be using this application to decorate my stockings, okay? I also have here in front of me a shirt that I bought while I was thrift shopping. This is one of those Donna Karan shirts, and it was absolutely gorgeous, to be honest with you. The shirt was really pretty, but it was too small for me. I loved it. I loved the colors and everything on the shirt. As you can see here, it's kind of like sequins and glitter. It's gorgeous, and I loved it. But obviously, it was too small for me. I grabbed it for $2, and I just kept the fabric, and that's what I'm going to use to do the top of my stockings. Okay, so I am going to glue this down with my hot glue. Okay, as you can see, this is not something that takes a lot of time. Let me get this stuff out of the way. I'm trying to be in frame so that you guys can really see how easy this is. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this down to my stockings, and this is gonna be kind of like the fold that's gonna give my stocking a really pretty look. Okay, so right now we're just gonna glue this down. Make sure you get the nice side to the fabric, okay? Okay, there you go. So now that I have this glued down, I'm gonna take this corner right here, and I'm gonna glue that down. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this corner over here, and I'm gonna glue that down. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this over, and I'm going to glue this down here. Okay, now you're going to take your scissors and you're going to trim this around. Okay, be very gentle and be very careful and be very neat when it comes to this part, because this is the top of your stockings. You don't want it to look all crazy and all sloppy. Okay, so just be careful and keep in mind that you're using a fabric that has a lot of sequins, so you're going to get a lot of resistance, so use a good scissor. Okay, there goes that part. Now if you want to fold this over, okay, and you could get like a really nice crisp, you can. I'm not gonna do that because I want to actually hang some envelopes inside my stockings once I'm done, so I'm not gonna do that, but you could if you want to. Okay, so you're gonna turn this around and you're going to cut it very close to your template. Okay, and voila, you see that? Now you have yourself a little fold, and then you have yourself your pretty little stockings. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, next step, you're gonna take something to decorate your stockings. You can use some lace, you can use some ribbon, you can use some fabric, you can use whatever you want to use. You can use some I have here this pretty kind of like lacy, like what do you call this, crochet lace that I used. As you can see here, I used on this one right here. So I wanted to use that, but I don't want my stockings to all look the same. I kind of want to give them a little bit of a different look to each other. So let me see what else I have in here that I'm able to maybe use and add, okay, to my stockings. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, let's see what we have here. So I have these beautiful, also just gorgeous. This is just so beautiful. I love it. So pretty. Okay, so we can actually use these if I want. Maybe we can use them down here. I don't know, maybe. If you want, we can probably use them down here. Just look and see how you want your stockings to look. You know, eyeball it, see how you think they look. If you like the way they look, then you keep it that way. If you don't, then move it around. Do whatever you want with it, okay? So I think Okay, so I think for this little corner right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use some lace. So I have here this lace. Actually, let's use this one that has crochet in it. So I'm going to add a little bit of this lace to right here. Okay, so I can kind of give it like a little pretty vintage look to it. Okay, what time is it? Oh my god, guys, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make this in one video. I'm so sorry. This is definitely gonna go into 2 videos. So I'm gonna probably stop this and then I'm gonna continue part 2. Okay, because this is not gonna work for us. I'm gonna stop it at 30 minutes and then I'm gonna continue part 2. But I guarantee you that you guys are gonna love this video. Once you see everything all said and done, you're going to love it. I'm telling you. You're going to say, yes, Jenny, it was worth me watching 2 videos to learn how to do this. Okay, so you see that, how pretty that looks already? So take your scissors and cut neatly, okay, out your trim. And there you have that pretty, gorgeous look. You see that? So pretty. I love that. Okay, so now that we have that all said and done, let's cover the edges of our stockings, right? So take your lace. I have this beautiful lace here. So I'm going to use this lace to cover the entire stockings around it. So this way it doesn't look really unfinished. It looks pretty with the lace. It gives it a really pretty, like, you know, vintagey look to it. And it doesn't look so messy, okay? And that's what you want. You don't want your stockings to look messy. You want your stockings to kind of look like you bought them from some, you know, fancy store. Okay, so let's add some of this trim or lace to the edges of our stockings. Okay, so you're gonna start from the top. Don't push and don't drag or force your ribbon. Just go along with the flow, okay? Okay, so here I'm gonna do this little section right here. I'm gonna hold it with my fingers and then I'm gonna continue. Same thing, hold it with your finger. Okay, and you're gonna continue. And you're gonna do this all around your stocking, okay? This is something that will avoid you from having to sew or adding some, like, you know, fray spray or anything like that. Now if you want to sew your stockings, you can if you want to. It's up to you. If you like sewing, then by all means do that. I don't like sewing, so you'll never see me sewing. I mean, I do sew if I have to, but a lot of the times I try to avoid it. Okay, just go around. And this is a time when you have all these beautiful ribbons from Michaels, and you can actually use it for these stockings, right? Because you know how Michael has all the ribbons on sale right now. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go around just like that. And you see how it's coming shape already, how pretty it looks? Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna put the trimming and then I'm gonna stop. And then I'm gonna continue part 2, okay? Because it's already 30 minutes over this video. So I'm gonna stop it after I'm finished doing the trim. And we're gonna continue on part 2. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm trying my best to make this into a 1 video, but it's just not gonna happen. And I don't edit any of my videos. What you see is what you get. If I knew how to edit, it would probably be better, but I don't. So Sorry. Okay, so let's finish this last part here. Okay. When you come to this curve, just play around with your lace, okay? It's going to give you a little bit of resistance because of the curve, but just play around with it. Okay? I'm going to come over here. I'm going to bring your lace over. And then we're going to cut our lace very carefully. And voila. You see this? How fast this is. I mean, already this stocking is gorgeous. Already, okay? So if you guys want to see how I finished decorating the stockings, please stay tuned for part 2. I will link everything at the bottom of this video so you guys can, you know, carry on to part 2. But I guarantee you it's going to be so much worth it. So make sure you guys watch part 2. Okay, honeys? Okay, I'll see you in a few seconds. Bye.